Barnacules Nerdgasm is the puppet master, pulling the strings behind the curtain of John Hancock issuing false copyright strikes on channels to silence criticism. Now, I didn't want to keep talking about John Hancock because obviously that horse has been beaten into the ground. He clearly feels no remorse for his actions, never actually clearly apologized to the people offended, and is just moving on with his day like nothing ever happened. Okay, John, deal with the consequences of that. As for me, I'm going to keep digging and finding out more information as to how scummy the underground of this YouTube community from larger creators really is. Barnacules Nerdgasm just openly admitted during a live stream that he encouraged John Hancock to issue strikes on channels because they were being mean to him, because he couldn't deal with the criticism. And he tried to hide behind using harassment as a reason to do it. First of all, copyright striking a channel because of harassment is never okay. If you feel like someone is harassing you, report the video to YouTube. Now, they're probably not going to do anything with it, which is what Barnacules was getting at with John Hancock when he told him he should just go ahead and copyright strike these channels because they're using things that he did not approve of, and that gives him the right to copyright strike, which it doesn't at all. And the fact that Barnacules went ahead on a live stream and admitted publicly that he was the one behind telling John Hancock to do it is one of the scummiest things I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, he was acting all badass, like, oh, I'm holier than thou, you can do... No, you can't do that. That's not okay. It's unacceptable, and it's illegal. There are ramifications to your actions, and John Hancock found that out when I threatened to sue him for issuing a false copyright strike against me. Now, Barnacules Nerdgasm, he's a real scumbag, and openly admitting these things just kind of shows his true colors. I first found out about him by watching Metal Jesus Rocks and seeing that he was a guest on that channel. John Hancock must have been introduced to him through that, because these people all rub shoulders with each other, and it's just ironic that they think because of their size that they'll be able to get away with doing what they've been doing to these smaller channels. It's not okay. If you're a larger channel, you need to start learning how to deal with criticism, constructive criticism. Harassment is not okay, but there's a way to report that on YouTube. Now, the problem is these guys already know YouTube doesn't do anything about that, and they can't handle these videos being out there exposing them for what they are, so they go ahead and illegally issue false copyright strikes against these channels. Not cool. I made a tweet the other day calling out Barnacules for his actions. I CC'd the quartering, I CC'd Review Tech. I shared a video that was made by Top Loaded Gaming that goes into how this guy went ahead and just shared on a live stream that he's perfectly fine with John Hancock striking people and encouraged them to do so. That's not okay. Now, I wouldn't be making a video if I didn't have anything to add to this, but I've spoken to another very large influencer who has come forward and they said, please leave my name out of this. Barnacules came up to me and said, if I don't like criticism, then I can go ahead and strike channels. I can get rid of these videos. I can hide behind false copyright strikes. And this person, who remains unnamed, preferred to be, they said that they're not cool with that they're okay with criticism, and they're not gonna false flag videos just because they can't deal with someone not liking what they said about them. And this was a couple years ago. So Barnacules Nerdgasm, this is nothing new to him. This is someone who has a history of telling people that they can go ahead and issue false copyright strikes on videos if they don't agree with the criticism. Am I going crazy here? Like, why is the community not up in arms about this? Is it because they don't know about it? Is it because they prefer to live their life in ignorance and they just want to talk about video games and they don't want any of these issues brought up because their heroes of YouTube will be brought down to earth and be on a level as them, the same level, a human, someone who makes mistakes and someone who can't handle the criticism when they make the mistakes? No, it's none of that. Barnacules Nerdgasm needs to be called out for his actions. He is somebody who is a detriment to the YouTube community. And if he continues telling other YouTubers to copyright strike channels illegally because it's okay to silence criticism, then I'm going to be calling him out. And if you don't like hearing it as a viewer, go watch someone making videos talking about video games, because I am not okay when I look at what's actually going on to just sit on my hands, sit in silence and allow it to happen. It's not cool. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. This is something the gaming community and the YouTube platform as a whole needs to know about. This is something that is very important. If someone keeps influencing other channels to copyright strike, to pat them on the back and make them feel like it's okay what they're doing and not have any repercussions for it, that needs to be called out. Because YouTube sure as hell is not holding these channels accountable for doing what they did. And honestly, from what I'm seeing in the community, a lot of people just want to move on from it and not hold them accountable either. And that's truly unfortunate, because that basically just allows these creators to get away with doing illegal acts and not having to pay anything for it. And I'm not cool with that. Now, Jeremy the Quartering just called out Barnacules Nerdgasm on Twitter. I called him out yesterday or the other day, like I said, and Barnacules right away, big surprise, blocked me on Twitter. He's probably not going to block Jeremy. What I'd imagine he's going to do is respond with some sort of half-assed excuse and acting like he was okay with it. But he's not. It's on video. He actually recorded himself admitting to encouraging John Hancock to issue a false copyright strike. And these people need to be called out for what they're doing, because they are single-handedly destroying the YouTube gaming community. Don't shoot the messenger for just being honest and real. This is what's happening on the platform. You want to ignore it? You want to live in ignorance? Be my guest. But don't watch these videos if you want to pretend everything's hunky-dory, because it's not.
In my request, I said, dude, start just copying. If people are stealing your content without asking for permission, and fair use does not cover critique, but it does not cover abuse, breaking up TOS. I can't just go download your video from YouTube, make a video, oh, look at this stupid fat fuck. God, he's so stupid and fat and fuck. Oh, this is covered under fair use. No, it's not actually, because that's not a form of journalism. That isn't objective. That is you just being a visceral piece of shit. So